Pick up the correct statement from the following. A ductile material has large plastic zone. B. A brittle material has no plastic zone. C. A rigid material has no plastic zone. D. All the above. The correct answer is all the above. The number of points of contraflexure in a simple supported beam carrying uniformly distributed load is A1, B2, C3, D0. The correct answer is 0. The maximum bending moment due to a moving load on a simply supported beam occurs A. At the midspan, B. At the supports, C. Under the load, D. Anywhere on the beam. The correct answer is under the load. A 3-hinged parabolic arch hinged at the crown and springings has a horizontal span of 4.8 m and a central rise of 1 m. It carries a uniformly distributed load of 0.75 tonne per meter over half left-hand span. The horizontal thrust at the support will be A. 10.8 tons, B. 1.08 tons, C. 1.8 tons, D. 0.8 tons. The correct answer is 1.08 tons. The length of a column having a uniform circular cross-section of 7.5 cm diameter and whose ends are hinged is 5 m. If the value of E for the material is 2100 tons cm2, the permissible maximum crippling load will be A. 1.288 tons, B. 12.88, C. 128.8 tons, D. 288.0. The correct answer is 12.88. If a 3-hinged parabolic arch carries a uniformly distributed load on its entire span, every section of the arch resists A. compressive force, B. tensile force, C. shear force, D. bending moment. The correct answer is compressive force. In a 3-hinged arch, the shear force is usually A. maximum at crown, B. maximum at springings, C. maximum at quarter points, D. varies with slope. The correct answer is maximum at springings. The law which states within elastic limits strain produced is proportional to the stress producing it is known as A. Bernoulli's law, B. stress law, C. Hooke's law, D. Poisson's law. The correct answer is Hooke's law. A cantilever beam rectangular in cross-section is subjected to an isolated load at its free end. If the width of the beam is doubled, the deflection of the free end will be changed in the ratio of A. 8, B. 1/8, C. 1/2, D. 2. The correct answer is 1/2. The phenomenon of slow extension of materials having constant load, i.e. increasing with the time, is called A. creeping, B. yielding, C. breaking, D. none of these. The correct answer is creeping. The direction of the reaction at support B of a truss shown in below figure will be A. east of north, B. west of north, C. east of south, D. west of south. The correct answer is east of north. The reaction at support A of the beam shown in below figure is A. 0, B. 5t, C. 10t, D. 1t. The correct answer is 0. The maximum resistance against rotation is offered by the weld at a point A. most distant, B. least distant, C. at either end, D. centrally located. The correct answer is most distant. For structural analysis of forces, the method refers to A. moment area theorem, B. 3-moment equation, C. Maxwell's reciprocal theorem, D. none of these. The correct answer is moment area theorem. The BM of a cantilever beam shown in below figure at A is A. 0, B 8 tm, C 12 tm, D 20 tm. The correct answer is 0. The reaction at the supports will be vertical to the plane of the support if the frame structure rests on A. roller supports, B. free supports, C. hinged supports, D. all the above. The correct answer is all the above. A cylinder is said to be thin if the ratio of its thickness and diameter is less than A. 125, B. 120, C. 115, D. 110. The correct answer is 110. The shear force on a simply supported beam is proportional to A. displacement of the neutral axis, B. sum of the forces, C. sum of the transverse forces, D. algebraic sum of the transverse forces of the section. The correct answer is algebraic sum of the transverse forces of the section. An arch with 3 hinges is a structure. A. statically determinate, B. statically indeterminate, C. geometrically unstable, D. structurally sound but indeterminate. The correct answer is statically determinate. Stress in members of statically determinate simple frames can be determined by A. method of joints, B. method of sections, C. graphical solution, D. all the above. The correct answer is all the above. While testing a cast iron beam 2.5 cm x 2.5 cm in section and a meter long simply supported at the ends failed when a 100 kg weight is applied at the center. The maximum stress induced is A. 960 kg cm2, B. 980 kg cm2, C. 1000 kg cm2, D. 1200 kg cm2. The correct answer is 960 kg cm2. When equal and opposite forces applied to a body tend to elongate it, the stress so produced is called A. shear stress, B. compressive stress, C. tensile stress, D. transverse stress. The correct answer is tensile stress. Stress in a beam due to simple bending is A. directly proportional, B. inversely proportional, C. curvilinearly related, D. none of these. The correct answer is directly proportional. A cantilever carrying a uniformly distributed load W over its full length is propped at its free end such that it is at the level of the fixed end. The bending moment will be 0 at its free end, also at A. midpoint of the cantilever, B. fixed point of the cantilever, C. 1/4 length from free end, D. 3/4 length from free end. The correct answer is 3/4 length from free end. In rectangular columns cross-section BXH, the core is A rectangle of lengths B2 and H2, B square of length B2, C rhombus of length H2, D rhombus of diagonals B3 and H3. The correct answer is rhombus of diagonals B3 and H3. The tensile force required to cause an elongation of 0.045 mm in a steel rod of 1000 mm length and 12 mm diameter is where E2 x 106 kg cm2, A. 166 kg, B. 102 kg, C. 204 kg, D. 74 kg. The correct answer is 102 kg. According to Unwins formula, the diameter D of a rivet of plate of thickness T is A. D 6.05 T, B. D 1.5 T4, C. D 5 T, D. T 1.5. The correct answer is D 6.05 T. In a bar of large length, when held vertically and subjected to a load at its lower end, its own weight produces additional stress. The maximum stress will be A at the lower cross section, B at the built-in upper cross section, C at the central cross section, D at every point of the bar. The correct answer is at the built-in upper cross section. Struts are load-carrying members of a frame structure which are subjected to A. Axial tension loads, B. Axial compressive loads, C. Torsional loads, D. Transverse loads. The correct answer is axial compressive loads. A simply supported wooden beam 150 cm long and having a cross-section 16 cm x 24 cm carries a concentrated load at the center. If the permissible stress feet 75 kg cm2 and Fs 10 kg cm2, the safe load is A. 3025 kg, B. 3050 kg, C. 3075 kg, D. 3100 kg. The correct answer is 3075 kg. The nature of the stress in horizontal members of the truss shown in below figure may be A. Compressive, B. Tensile, C. Shear, D. Zero. The correct answer is tensile. A solid cube is subjected to equal normal forces on all its faces. The volumetric strain will be x times the linear strain in any of the three axes when A. x1, B. x2, C. x3, D. x4. The correct answer is x3. The materials which have the same elastic properties in all directions are called A. Isotropic, B. Brittle, C. Homogeneous, D. Hard. The correct answer is isotropic. In a three-hinged arch, the third hinge is generally kept at A. Crown of the arch, B. Midpoint of the crown and left support hinge, C. Midpoint of the crown and right support hinge, D. None of these. The correct answer is crown of the arch. A bending moment may be defined as A. Arithmetic sum of the moments of all the forces on either side of the section, B. Arithmetic sum of the forces on either side of the section, C. Algebraic sum of the moments of all the forces on either side of the section, D. None of these. The correct answer is algebraic sum of the moments of all the forces on either side of the section. The property of a material by which it can be beaten or rolled into thin plates is called A. Malleability, B. Ductility, C. Plasticity, D. Elasticity. The correct answer is malleability. If a constant section beam is subjected to a uniform bending moment throughout its length, bends to A. circular arc, B. a parabolic arc, C. a catenary, D. None of these. The correct answer is a circular arc. A simply supported beam L2A with equal overhangs carries a uniformly distributed load over the whole length. The beam changes sign if A. L2A, B. L2A, C. L2A, D. L4A. The correct answer is L2A. The type of butt joints in common use is A. Single inverted V-butt joint, B. double V-butt joint, C. W butt joint, D. single V-butt joint. The correct answer is single inverted V-butt joint. For structural analysis, Maxwell's reciprocal theorem can be applied to A. plastic structures, B. elastic structures, C. symmetrical structures, D. all the above. The correct answer is elastic structures. Compression members always tend to buckle in the direction of the A. axis of load, B. Perpendicular to the axis of load. C. Minimum cross-section. D. Least radius of gyration. The correct answer is least radius of gyration. The maximum tangential stress in a thick cylindrical shell is always the internal pressure acting on the shell. A equal to, B less than, C greater than, D. The correct answer is greater than. A thin spherical shell of diameter d and thickness t is subjected to an internal pressure P. The stress in the shell material is A PdT, B PD2T, C PD4T, D PD8T. The correct answer is PD4T. Rivets are generally specified by A. Thickness of plates to be joined, B. Overall length, C. Shank diameter, D. Diameter of head. The correct answer is shank diameter. Principal plane is a plane on which the shear stress is A. 0, B. Minimum, C. Maximum, D. The correct answer is 0. The bending moment in the center of a simply supported beam carrying a uniformly distributed load of W per unit length is A. 0, B. WL22, C. WL24, D. WL28. The correct answer is WL28. When a thin cylindrical shell is subjected to an internal pressure, there will be A decrease in diameter and length of the shell, B. An increase in diameter and decrease in length of the shell, C. A decrease in diameter and increase in length of the shell, D. An increase in diameter and length of the shell. The correct answer is an increase in diameter and length of the shell. A welded joint as compared to a riveted joint has strength A. Same, B. Less, C. More, D. The correct answer is more. The shear force at a point on a beam is the algebraic of all the forces on either side of the point. A. Sum, B. Difference, C. D. The correct answer is sum. The point of contraflexure occurs in A. Cantilever beams, B. Simply supported beams, C. Overhanging beams, D. Fixed beams. The correct answer is overhanging beams. For a 25 mm hole drilled in plates, the diameter of rivet shank should be A. 23 mm, B. 24.5 mm, C. 25 mm, D. 26 mm. The correct answer is 23 mm. A beam of uniform strength has A. Same cross-section throughout the beam, B. Same bending stress at every section, C. Same bending moment at every section, D. Same shear stress at every section. The correct answer is same bending stress at every section. The shear force of a simply supported beam carrying a central point load changes sign at its midpoint. A. Correct, B. Incorrect, C. D. The correct answer is correct. In a simple bending theory, one of the assumptions is that the material of the beam is isotropic. This assumption means that the A. Normal stress remains constant in all directions, B. Normal stress varies linearly in the material, C. Elastic constants are same in all the directions, D. Elastic constants varies linearly in the material. The correct answer is elastic constants are same in all the directions. The extremities of any diameter on Moore's circle represent A. Principal stresses, B. Normal stresses on planes at 45, C. Shear stresses on planes at 45, D. Normal and shear stresses on a plane. The correct answer is normal stresses on planes at 45. Two shafts A and B are made of same material. The shaft A is solid and has diameter d. The shaft B is hollow with outer diameter d and inner diameter d2. The strength of hollow shaft in torsion is as that of solid shaft. A 116, B 18, C 14, D 1516. The correct answer is 1516. The bending moment of a cantilever beam of length L and carrying a gradually varying load from 0 at free end and W per unit length at the fixed end is at the fixed end. AWL2, BWL, CWL22, DWL26. The correct answer is WL26. In the below figure, the stress corresponding to point D is A. Yield point stress, B. Breaking stress, C. Ultimate stress, D. Elastic limit. The correct answer is ultimate stress. The Poisson's ratio for cast iron varies from A 0.33 to 0.37, B 0.21 to 0.26, C 0.31 to 0.34, D 0.32 to 0.42. The correct answer is 0.21 to 0.26. The Rankine's theory for active earth pressure is based on the assumption that A. The retained material is homogeneous and cohesionless. B. The frictional resistance between the retaining wall and the retained material is neglected. C. The failure of the retained material takes place along a plane called rupture plane. D. All of the above. The correct answer is all of the above. The strain energy stored in a spring when subjected to maximum load without suffering permanent distortion is known as A. Impact energy, B. Proof resilience, C. Proof stress, D. Modulus of resilience. The correct answer is proof resilience. An overhanging beam must overhang on both sides. A. Correct, B. Incorrect, C. D. The correct answer is incorrect. The resultant stress on an inclined plane which is inclined at an angle to the normal cross-section of a body which is subjected to a direct tensile stress in one plane is A. Sin, B. Cos, C. Sin 2, D. Cos 2. The correct answer is cos. The ratio of change in volume to the original volume is called A. Linear strain, B. Lateral strain, C. Volumetric strain, D. Poisson's ratio. The correct answer is volumetric strain. In a beam where shear force changes sign, the bending moment will be A. 0, B. Minimum, C. Maximum, D. Infinity. The correct answer is maximum. The maximum shear stress of a beam of triangular section occurs above the neutral axis. A. Correct, B. Incorrect, C. D. The correct answer is correct. For the beam shown in the below figure, the shear force at A is equal to A. WL6, B. WL3, C. WL, D. 2 WL3. The correct answer is WL3. The ductility of a material with the increase in percentage reduction in area of a specimen under tensile test. A. Increases, B. Decreases, C. Remains same, D. The correct answer is increases. The rivets are made from ductile material. A. Yes, B. No, C. D. The correct answer is yes. The rectangular beam A has length L, width B and depth D. Another beam B has the same length and width but depth is double that of A. The elastic strength of beam B will be as compared to beam A. A. Same, B. Double, C. 4 times, D. 6 times. The correct answer is 4 times. When a closely coiled helical spring is subjected to an axial load, it is said to be under A. Bending, B. Shear, C. Torsion, D. Crushing. The correct answer is torsion. When a rectangular beam is loaded transversely, the zero stress is developed on the neutral axis. A. True, B. False, C. D. The correct answer is true. The given figure shows the Morse circle of stress for two unequal and like principal stresses X and Y acting at a body across two mutually perpendicular planes. The normal stress on an oblique section making an angle with the minor principal plane is given by A. OC, B. OP, C. OQ, D. PQ. The correct answer is OQ. According to Eulers' column theory, the crippling load for a column of length L with one end fixed and the other end free is the crippling load for a similar column hinged at both the ends. A equal to, B less than, C more than, D. The correct answer is less than. If percentage reduction in area of a certain specimen made of material A under tensile test is 60 and the percentage reduction in area of a specimen with same dimensions made of material B is 40, then the material A is more ductile than material B. B. The material B is more ductile than material A. C. The ductility of material A and B is equal. D. The material A is brittle and material B is ductile. The correct answer is the material A is more ductile than material B. The shear force diagram for a simply supported beam carrying a uniformly distributed load of W per unit length consists of A. One right-angled triangle, B. Two right-angled triangles, C. One equilateral triangle, D. Two equilateral triangles. The correct answer is two right-angled triangles. A body is subjected to two normal stresses 20 kN/m2 tensile and 10 kN/m2 compressive acting perpendicular to each other. The maximum shear stress is A. 5 kN/m2, B. 10 kN/m2, C. 15 kN/m2, D. 20 kN/m2. The correct answer is 15 kN/m2. When a cantilever beam is loaded at its free end, the maximum compressive stress shall develop at A. Bottom fiber, B. Top fiber, C. Neutral axis, D. Center of gravity. The correct answer is bottom fiber. In a cantilever beam of length L subjected to a uniformly distributed load of W per unit length, the maximum deflection lies at the fixed end. A. Yes, B. No, C. D. The correct answer is no. A lap joint is always in shear. A. Single, B. Double, C. D. The correct answer is single. The elongation of a conical bar under its own weight is that of prismatic bar of the same length. A equal to B half, C 1/3, D 2/3. The correct answer is 1/3. When the shear force diagram is a parabolic curve between 2 points, it indicates that there is A point load at the 2 points, B no loading between the 2 points, C uniformly distributed load between the 2 points, D uniformly varying load between the 2 points. The correct answer is uniformly varying load between the 2 points. The efficiency of a riveted joint is the ratio of the strength of the joint to the strength of the solid plate. A true, B false, C, D. The correct answer is true. The slenderness ratio is the ratio of A area of column to least radius of gyration, B length of column to least radius of gyration, C least radius of gyration to area of column, D least radius of gyration to length of column. The correct answer is Length of column to least radius of gyration. When two shafts of same length, one of which is hollow, transmit equal torques and have equal maximum stress, then they should have equal A. Polar moment of inertia, B. Polar modulus, C. diameter, D. angle of twist. The correct answer is polar modulus. For a beam as shown in the below figure, the maximum deflection lies at A from B, B from A, C from B, D from A. The correct answer is from B. According to Eulers' column theory, the crippling load for a column of length L fixed at both ends is the crippling load for a similar column hinged at both ends. A equal to B 2 times, C 4 times, D 8 times. The correct answer is 4 times.